Hey guys, what's going on? It is Wednesday, and if it is Wednesday, it is time for Story Time with Taffy, episode number 11. It has been a stressful week here at the McLaffyTaffy household. Things are kind of going crazy right now just because of the simple fact that there are so many noises in the background. So, if for any reason you hear a phone ring or a refrigerator making noise or a maintenance guy trying to get inside somebody else's apartment, I apologize, but I want to get this recorded because I want to get this up earlier than it has been recently. Also, in about an hour, we have a play day with one Xbox Ahoy to try to get a passive aggression, and I'm trying to write stuff for that to get him to say so that we can edit a more special version of PA than we normally do, because let's face it, the man's a living legend. And if you don't know this, way back in the day, about a year ago or so, he actually helped our channel get up off the ground by letting us parody him and cooperating with us while we made them. So one Stuart Brown is coming to play, and I'm a little bit on edge because I want everything to be, I want to be a good host. I want to take good care of our guest. In the meanwhile, we have a story time to attend to. Don't just think that because of other channel business we are going to lose our Wednesday story time. Nay, it shall not happen. So let's just jump right into it today. I did not have a chance to go down to the comments. I looked over some of them, and some of the things I saw I liked, but I did not have a story to go with it. So, I'm going to reach down deep into my bag of tricks and grab a story that I like to tell, and I have told 100 times before. The story of how I made a drunken asshole out of myself in front of one Willem Dafoe. If you don't know Willem Dafoe, you're wrong. You know who Willem Dafoe is. He was the Green Goblin in all the reboot Spider-Man movies, not the reboot Spider-Man movies that literally are coming out within a couple of years of the old reboot Spider-Man movies. I can't say I'm really jazzed about seeing these, and they kind of look like crap. Willem Dafoe has actually got quite the storied past. He started off in New York theater and then became a film star. And if you haven't checked out a lot of his old stuff, and I don't mean like Boondock Saints, I know a lot of y'all are young, I mean like reach way back into his way back and get like some of the old, I think Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games type stuff. Go back to Platoon. God, see Platoon. If you haven't seen Platoon, I will find you where you live and shake you. What's the matter with you? Go see Platoon. You owe it to yourself. Charlie Sheen back before he did crazy amounts of crack off of the hips of porn stars. So, when I was in Boise State, I was in the theater department. Every year, we took a trip somewhere to see something that we felt was theatrically relevant. A lot of times, it led us to Ashland, Oregon, where they have a tremendous Shakespeare festival. But this time, we heard that the Wooster Group, which rarely leaves New York, and contained the core member of one Willem Dafoe, was going to be on tour in Seattle. So we took everything that we had, and we went up to Seattle and spent a week there so that we could see Willem Dafoe and the Wooster Group. Now, I was really excited because I hadn't seen a lot of big name stars. It's fun to see film stars up on stage doing plays because it's an entirely different environment. There's no cut, there's no retake. As I'm voicing this, I'm taking huge pauses and I'm stopping the recording. I'm jotting down notes to see where I want to paste things or put things, and in the editing process I'll take out all the pauses, the ums, the big so's, the lip smacks, the sighs, and it'll all flow together like one nice fluid piece. And film's much the same way. That's why you get outtake rolls and blooper rolls. But when you get live actors on stage who can't turn away from the mess ups, it actually gets really interesting. So you see when you get a film actor up on stage who's got the chops to stay in it for a full 90 minutes and who can only really stay in it for about 90 seconds at a time before they need a water bottle break and to look at the script again. So I was really jazzed about seeing Willem Dafoe, and I get up to Seattle and we go to the show and get ready to settle in. It's opening night for their shows there in Seattle, and as I'm waiting in line, being kind of the hound dog that I am, I spot a couple of arts girls. Like, they're from a nearby arts college, really wealthy, like $30,000 a year type art school. They're in designer clothes, they're in really good shape, and I'm there in like shredded jeans and a fleece. So I decide to go over and play up my ghetto fabulous charm, and they giggle about the fact that they're slumming it with a university student, and the vibe's going really well. But the play starts and we all go into our seats, and I sit down to watch the show, and it is the single strangest fucking thing I have ever seen occur on a stage. It was a Greek tragedy, the name of which has totally left me because I can't remember exactly what happened in the story, but what I do know is that there were high-definition TV screens all over the place, that there were people playing badminton, faking like they were taking shits on stage, and fake poop on stage, and enemas being administered, and all sorts of weird flailing and falling and dancing. And the play ends, and I think I clapped when I was supposed to clap, and the first thing I could think about was, well, that was fucking nuts. So what I want to do is I want to go find these beautiful arts girls and see what I can do about possibly getting a post-show threesome to wash all this out of my mind. So I'm in the lobby and I hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, tonight after the show there will be a talkback with the cast and crew. If you retain your ticket stub, you may turn it in at the bar for a complimentary glass of beer or wine." So being the industrious young college student that I am, I swipe up every ticket stub on the floor that I can find, and when I get to the bar, I fan them out like a deck of cards, and I basically just say, keep them coming. So I'm about 6 really good amber ales to the wind, talking to these arts girl students, got a really nice vibe going, and my professor comes and grabs me. He says, hey Ryan, come here. I got somebody I want you to meet. All right. So I walk over there. Mr. Dafoe, these are my students. And he goes and names us off, and I'll just pick kind of random names. Jack and Jill and Ryan. And no sooner have we started talking to Mr. Dafoe, but Jill, we'll call her, is reaching up and petting him. I kid you not, she can't control herself. She's so starstruck that she's reached up and is now stroking his shoulder. And of course he pauses, like he's mid-sentence, and he turns and he looks at her, and she freezes like a deer in headlights and says, That's a really nice jacket. Is that vintage? And he just kind of giggles, and we go back to talking. And finally, he turns to me because I haven't said anything because my mind is stuck back with the 2 beautiful brunettes about 30 feet behind me. I can't focus because I'm kind of drunk, and I'm kind of interested in locking up this thing with the girls, so I can't pay attention. And I don't care about the play because the play was weird. So he turns to me and he says, hey, what was your name, Ryan? I said, yes, sir. I said, what did you think about the show? Well, Willem, can I call you Willem? 3 things. 1, Jill's right. That is a totally rockin' fucking jacket. Is that vintage? Because it is really cool. Number 2, I have no fucking clue what just happened in there on stage, which I guess is a good thing because here we are 10 years later and I'm still talking about it. And number 3, I'm trying to seal the deal with these 2 art students over here. Is there any chance that you'd be willing to swing by and pretend like we're good friends? No? Okay, well, in that case, congratulations on your incredible career. Loved you in Platoon. And I'll talk to you guys later. I really have to jet. And I walked away. And that was the end of my night with Willem Dafoe. It was not the end of my night, period. I sadly did not end up closing the deal with those 2 gorgeous art school students. But I did go out and make a raucous night of it in Seattle. The next morning was kind of like the hangover for me. Because I got so drunk that I did not remember how the night ended. But when I woke up, I had a floor tile in my bed. So I got up and I went to go shower, and I took a shower, and the hot water hits my back, and I scream so loud that hotel security comes up to check on me. And it's not until the shower that I realize that I have a missing patch of skin the size of a dinner plate on my back. And I guess the story goes is that we went out and tore up the bars of Seattle and the dance clubs of Seattle, and I was not ready for the night to end. I was determined that the night for Taffy would end in Nookie. And since it hadn't ended in Nookie, obviously the night at 3:30 in the morning was not over. And this gigantic backstage tech person named Zach decided that the night was over for me. And I'm not small. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm 200 pounds. Zach was taller and heavier than me. And he decided that I was his ragdoll, grabbed me by the ankles, and pulled me out of the elevator, but not before I was so determined to stay that I ripped a tile out of the elevator floor. So he dragged me down the hallway, and apparently the big patch of missing skin on my back was rug burn from about 100 feet over sandpapery carpet. So that's it, my story of how I made a drunken asshole out of myself in front of one Willem Dafoe. Episode number 11 is in the books. Please go down to the comments section. I want you to do this. Write your comments, your questions, your concerns. Also write what commentators you would like to see play PA with us, and what other games you would like to see on the channel. We'll do a more serious tone with the feedback today, because we know a lot of you guys show up here for story time, but we want to keep the rest of the gameplay interesting. And we'll try out a lot of those new things here on the background of story time. On behalf of the Mr. Wiffles channel, thank you for tuning in. My name is Taffy, and I am out.